What is happening, guys? Good morning. Good morning to you. It is Friday, June 26th, 2020. And man, do I have a special show for you this morning. I have literally a guy that I was just talking to off camera. You guys aren't going to believe this. This is going to be just an incredible experience for everybody this morning. I have Mr. Daylan McLee with me this morning. And you guys are in for a serious treat. This guy is something special, not just a real life hero, but way, way, way deeper than that. And we're going to dig in. Let's get started.
It is ultimately important for you to look at your goals, truly what you want to do in your life, and then look at the people who you spend the most time with in your life and figure out if that lines up.
All right, so I'm about to bring this guy on. I just want to give you guys some perspective here before I bring him on. Man, it's not often that I talk to a guy or any human being for that matter that gives me chills at the level that this guy just did in a matter of about 7 minutes before we came on camera. I think that sometimes events happen in life that allow people to really have their voice heard in a way that it is supposed to be heard. And you guys are in for such a serious treat this morning. I can't wait to bring this guy on. I am grateful that he was willing to wake up this morning and join us here at 7:30 a.m. This guy's being tracked down by every major news channel in the country, and he chose to be on the screen here with his brother from another mother in Fayette County, Lee. So welcome to the show, Mr. Daylan McLee. Thank you for being here, man, and it is an honor to be able to share your story. So good morning to you, man.
Thank you. Good morning.
So I want to start by introducing you to everybody, and I want you, as I told you off camera, I think that, the number one thing that's going to happen here is lots of news channels are going to tell your story, right? But what I want to do is kind of give everybody an idea of who you are as an individual. We come from the same hometown. We walk the same halls of the same schools. And, I want to know about Daylan McLee, the father, the son, the Fayette County resident. What's your hobbies? What do you like to do? All that kind of stuff. So give everybody a little bit about your background, man.
Oh, man. Most people from Fayette County know my family's we're McLees. Come from a family who show love, stern love. I went to Lafayette Elementary. Met some amazing teachers there through my life. I went to Uniontown High School where I played football. Started for 4 years. I'm a dad. Love to fish, love to walk. I have dogs. Kind of like a country scene, Those are really my hobbies, man. Not too much exciting things, but family oriented is my hobby. So, and I got better with that, and it's amazing. So that's pretty much it.
I know you have a strong relationship with the man upstairs. We're gonna dig into that, and I think that's amazing too, man. I think that that part of this story makes it extra special for me, and I'm sure for a lot of people, and definitely for you. As we dig into this, I think we'll see, how that plays a major role in everything that transpired here. So. I want to talk. You have obviously everybody that's read this story hears about, the previous experience that you have had with law enforcement and kind of, how everything transpired in the multiple situations that you have had in your life. Can you give everybody that's watching here a little bit of background on that and, kind of your previous experiences with that?
Yeah, man. So I disarmed the man one time. As I said, it's confidential. I can't speak on who he is, and I won't. Disarmed a man before at a American Legion. It was one of the most dramatic days. It changed my life forever. I was wrongfully accused of pointing a gun at an officer, which I was fired upon after. As most of the world knows, I went to trial for that case. There was video surveillance which proved my innocence. To be shot at wrongfully and being incarcerated wrongfully was a very depressing state in my life. But the peak to it all, and I'm going to keep doing it. I know people are like, he keeps talking about Christ. He's worked through me through that whole thing. You know, he's gave me that fuel not to give up on my innocence, and he gave me that extra push to tell me that this isn't the end. You know, and it's something you never forget. Something you don't wish on anybody. Something you want to forget. Actually, honestly, I kind of get shaken up about it when I talk about it. You know, it was a journey. You know, a very long journey. But once again, God is good through keeping my heart pure. I did grow a little hate for a while. You know, to be in that situation, especially now that I look at this, all that's going on in the world. You know, it's rough. You know, it really is. It still, you know, still rough, but God makes things better. You know, He finds ways for those who have Him in His heart. You don't have to go sit in the church to have God in your heart.
Amen.
So that's what I'm living off of now.
Amen. So, and you spent how long did you spend in jail after that arrest?
I did it. I said a year, and then actually after I was found not guilty, I had to go to a state facility to do another 6 months. So about a year and a half.
After you were found not guilty?
Yeah. Well, after I was not found guilty, I had to go do a 6-month trial up at a state prison because they labeled me and said that I was not. I was a harm to the community. So after the charges were beat, so they made me do a 6-month, which they call a hit. I had to go up to a state facility after that also. After I won beat the case and trial. So like I said, it was a dramatic experience, man.
Incredible, man. And you know, we talked about this off camera, but you know, I always say that the adversities that we face in life, we have two choices, and that is we can live there forever, right? We can keep our heart and our soul and our mind in that place, or we can choose a different perspective. We can choose to utilize that for the good that it can bring to us and to the world. And I am excited to get to that conversation about, you know, how that kind of shaped you. So let's talk about that. So you get on the other side of that year and a half, and you come out and you start, you know, obviously you're getting back into everyday life. You're seeing your family again. You're, you know, going through life just like the rest of us. How does that kind of healing start, and what does that look like? And, you know, before all of this happened, of this specific event, how did you start to heal and start to feel like that you could get rid of that frustration and that hate that maybe was brewing a little bit for you?
You know, me and one of my, like I said, childhood school teachers and coach were just talking about this the other day. And I'm going to say his name. I hope he doesn't mind. But me and Coach Rosgoni were talking about this the other day. He's a principal at Lower Howlands. It's odd, man. At first, I was definitely on offense mode. You know, I would see the police and I would try to go the opposite way. If I was in a vehicle with somebody, I would, you know, kind of like panic. But then I started seeing things as remembering like good officers that are around here, and I started to see them a lot more. And they started to speak to me on things like, you know, we're sorry what you went through, and you know, you start to get a sense of humanity again. You start to realize that everybody's not a villain. Everybody's not out to get you. Everybody's not out to put you in a rough spot in life, and that's just things. It takes time, you know. My family helped a lot. You know, they tried to get me to outings and wanted me to go places because I was sheltered, man. I didn't want to go anywhere for a while. Like I didn't want to be seen. I grew my hair out. I never had long hair. This is the first time I have had hair in my life. I just felt it was like a safe haven to, water down what I look like to them, and them seeing me all the time, like, oh, that's him right there, So that was dramatic too.
And how long ago was that, man?
About almost going on 3 years, like 2.5 years, I believe. I try not to. I tell people, they ask me this all the time, and I'm like, I try to forget it, the dates and the exact times of the incidents that happened, because it's painful. But the situation that happened and what me and that officer went through, it changed my whole perspective in a blink of an eye. I mean, it was already there in heart, but like, it's more like, and his family's reached out, and it's just amazing to feel human again, that I'm trusted and I'm known as the person that I really am.
Yeah. So let's talk about that, man. Because you said a couple of things there that kind of make a perfect transition into talking about that. So for those of you who are watching that didn't have a chance to read the article that I posted about Daylan, it was Father's Day, correct? Is that the date that happened?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So on Father's Day, there was an accident, a vehicle accident in Uniontown that involved a police officer and a police car, and that police car caught on fire. And this man that you see on the screen here saved that officer's life by running to a burning vehicle, which he told me off camera. I don't know if he'll mention it here, so I will say it for him. He thought the whole time that it was possibly going to explode, and still ran to that vehicle and pulled that officer out, and ultimately saved his life. And that officer is now, healing from the accident. He had some surgery on his leg and some things to get him better. And so now this guy's life has changed in an instant, right? Because now, in a time in our world where things are, just so crazy in a lot of ways. And we were talking off camera about, there's so many things in the world that people are, we are being asked to choose sides, really. And what I found so intriguing about this story and about Daylan as an individual is that he has really seen both sides, right? He has been on both sides of this equation. And in that instant, he chose to stand firmly in the middle, right? To just serve, as you say, a brother in Christ, another human being, and to just show the love and compassion that we need so much in this world, especially in times like this where there's so much going on, right? And there's so much, animosity and feelings in the world that are just forcing people into awkward positions, right? And so I love this story, man, because it is the definition of bringing people together, and that is this show. My goal every single morning at 7:30 is to give people perspective. And I can tell you this, man, I've been around 41 years on this earth, and I don't think I've run into a story that has given me more perspective than reading yours. It's like the time, the situation, the background, the story. So tell me what happened. Can you walk everybody through what happened that day, like how the accident, how you heard the accident happen, and then everything that transpired for those couple of minutes?
Yes, sir. I just remember us. It was Father's Day. It was Sunday, pretty sure. My stepmother was outside grilling. My sister was out there. They prepared a Father's Day cookout for us, and we were all upstairs flicking on the TV, and we just hear this boom. And then we felt the aftermath. It was like, I'll be honest, it was like an earthquake. He lives in a top of a restaurant. It's like a big apartment building. So we felt the vibration of the apartment building. And my sister comes running in. She's like, an officer wrecked with someone else. We need a phone. Give me your phone. I gave her my phone. She heads outside. I follow behind her. My family follows behind her. We come outside to debris everywhere. The smell of gasoline. There was an officer pinned in his cruiser across the street. He hit into a pole. Not exactly sure how the accident began or what caused it. There was another SUV that was white that was like halfway up the street that had hit each other, and people everywhere yelling. An officer arrived on scene. And I think another one arrived on scene. And we walked over. He tried to open the car door. There was no flames yet. The officer was pinned. He was bad. You could tell he was hurt. He was in a lot of pain. You could tell his leg was abnormal. And I just kept smelling these fumes and we went to go walk away. The officer was like, I can't get that door open, man. And I'm like, okay, well, he's like, but he'll be fine. The ambulance are coming. The fire trucks are coming. And we went to go walk away, and the crowd just uproared. The car's on fire. It's on fire. So I ran back and I looked, and I seen the flames in the front, and I smelled the fumes coming off bad. Started feeling heat around where the officer was sitting at. Underneath where he was sitting at was inside the motor was where the fire was. He just kept saying, "Don't move me," and I just said, "I have to, bro. I have to get you out of here." I said, "This car's on fire." And I don't think he was alert enough to where that bothered him. I think the pain is what he was focused on. He just kept saying, "Don't move me." And I said, "I have to. I'm either going to take you out this window if I can't get this door open." Yanked on the door a few times, and my heart just kept telling me, like, "Don't give up. Whatever you can to get him out." The whole time I knew, well, I'm not going to say I knew, I felt that this car was going to blow up. It was making noises that I don't know how I stayed over there. Like I said, God, man. And I ripped that door open, pulled him out, drug him halfway, and then I realized he wasn't far enough because the car still cycle was going to blow. I went back, and another officer helped me, dragging me the farther back. So, do I know what was going on in my mind? No. I don't even know if it was me moving myself. But I know one thing, the value on human life I spoke on before to people. There's no value on that, man. And, you know, people look at these cops and look at other people like, oh, you know, he did this before and this is what happened with him. You got to forgive and you got to open your horizon of Christ. You know what I mean? We're his people. And, you know, we're not perfect. I don't go to church, but I'm a firm believer that was the working of him. Like I said, I don't know how anybody walked out of this accident. It looked absolutely unbelievable. You know, I get teary-eyed thinking about it, man. To be able to perform the work of God and send someone back home with their family, you know, after the losses my family has taken this year, you know, and deaths and stuff, man. It's a blessing. Definitely is. It's a blessing, man.
I will say this, man. You telling that story gives me anxiety listening to it. So I can't imagine what it's like, you know, in that moment. But, you know, one of the things that I believe, and again, we talked about this off camera, is that I think that God gives us all a north compass inside of us. And that compass does not see anything that the world tries to tell us about ourselves is different, you know. And I believe that North Compass is the man upstairs. I believe that is what guided you to do that, without a doubt. I commend you to the highest level for having the courage. You know, that is without a doubt allowing God to run through your life and do for others, because we all know that as human beings, we are very courageous, but without the power of the man upstairs, you know, what are we, you know? And so for me, listening to that story, man, and knowing the backstory, I think that, you know, for me, man, I know that all of the news stories that are being written is about, you know, your past and how that is, you know, so that people see that as different. Having talked to you, I don't see that as any different. I see that as, you know, you are a person that has energy running through you that is right, you know. And what I said to you before we got on here, I believe that this accident happening and you being given this platform is God's gift for your decisions to stay true in your heart, no matter what has happened to you. And I think that is the real story here. You know, it is just seeing humanity and not seeing the differences in us, but doing the right thing regardless of the circumstances, regardless of the hand that you have been dealt in the past. And man, I am proud to be able to say that I know you and had this conversation with you, because I believe you have like one of the most powerful hearts that I have run into. And I say that from the bottom of my heart, man, with total sincerity. It's like, I would like to, find a way to do things in this life with a person like you, and, because I think that you've been given a gift to be able to do things like that, to be able to have that perspective in that moment, to take that kind of action. And it's incredible, man. So all praise to you, man, for being able to do that and to having that instantaneous. And that is from your decisions, from the perspective that you've maintained in life. That is not something that I believe you decide in that moment. I think it's just wired into you from your experiences, from your belief, from, all the work that you've done on yourself. So just all the praise to you, man. And, I want to get into, let's first talk about, you're wearing a t-shirt that says Team Humanity. And I want to talk about that for a couple of reasons. Number one, I think that we're all on Team Humanity, and I think we all need to spend more time in that space instead of, talking about our differences all the time. And I think that's an important conversation too. But I think that, I want to talk about how do we come together? And I think, man, you are an agent for that now, whether you chose to be or not. And I want to get your perspective on that. How do we do a better job of bringing things together, of, being one humanity instead of, always talking about all the things that are being talked about right now?
I think we need to put aside vengeance in our hearts as human beings and leave them to God. I think that change to come is for people to really dig deep and think what matters. And to me, it's the youth. I feel that if we start influencing the youth the right way, that's our future. So if these guys know that racism's not right, if these guys know police brutality is not right, and if people know that going after the police is not right, and making every cop bad is not right, if we start working on that and change our society as the upbringing through the youth, the children, I think big positive things can go and happen and change a lot around the world, because that's what's important. The children and these teenagers nowadays, they're getting so many bad influences, and they think this is the way to life, and it's not. Like I said, I have majority of my best friends are white. You know what I mean? And I come from an area on the eastern side of town in Uniontown that it may not seem so pleasant, but maybe instead of searching for crimes and things like that, we should search for the hearts that are crying out, that need help, to be reassured that they're loved and that people care about them. There's no care in the world right now. Everybody's just like, oh, I don't want this change. Everybody's, and I'm going to speak on the president too. Everybody's like, oh, Donald Trump, this. It's just too much politics going on to where we're not paying attention to human lives. That goes back to Team Humanity and the value on a life. You know what I mean? I lost my mother through me being incarcerated and her being an amputee and going through her illnesses while I was in prison, to coming home and only spending a short year with her. And like I said, I could hold a lot of bitterness in my heart, but you got to leave the vengeance to Christ, man. You gotta dig deep in your heart and know what's right. And like I said, the youth is the first change. People to show these African-American kids, the Caucasian kids, whatever race, to show them that we're all equal and we're all loved through Christ. And if we perform that together, changes will happen. People will trust again, and you can walk down the street and see an officer and good morning, sir. That's what life's about, being pure, man. You can have a pure heart. Like I said, I don't go to church. I have a couple of family members that are pastors, and God's not asking you to run to church. God's asking you to run to Him through your spirit, your soul, nothing else. You don't have to go prove to millions of people that you go to church. If it's in your heart, it's in your heart, and if it's not in your heart, you can work on it getting there by allowing Christ to lay His hands on you, man. So we got to look at our youth and the examples we're setting for the children. That's our future, because I have children myself, and I pray to God if I get ill that they have the upbringing and the structure to take care of me and send me off in the right manner to wherever I go in life, you know. So that's what we got to look into.
Man, you don't know me very well yet, but a lot of people watching this show do, and there's not many people to leave me speechless, but there is something special about you, my man. And with that said, there's a lot of, we come from the same town, and there's a lot of youth there that need some help. And from me to you, man, I said this off camera, I'll say it on camera and go on the record. I wanna help, man. So you think about how we can work together and how we can get a bunch of people to work together to get this message out consistently, not just when an event like this happens, but every day. How do we walk these words that you're talking about? Because it's, these kids need this all the time. And so we need to create structure and programs and things like that that can give back to these kids and give them the perspective that they need. I read the articles that everybody in the world, I saw an article about you. I don't know if you know this, but you've been published in like New Zealand, all over the place when I was Googling yesterday. Crazy, right? It's crazy.
Yes,
but
absolutely.
That is, you mentioned the word love over and over and over and over again. And I think, that is what heals everything, man. It's just that perspective and that genuine care for humanity, just genuine care for each other. I said it to you, you said something off camera, and I said, man, when I get to Uniontown, I'm going to give you a big ass hug, man, because just the words that you say are just dead on the money, man, of what we need in this world. And so I'm going to end with this, man. Number one, I'll let you finish this. I'm going to ask you a question to finish, but I just want to say how grateful I am, not just for you being here this morning, but for everything you live by. Like, this isn't about this event. This event allowed people to see how you live and how you choose to have that pure and grateful heart. And that is so needed in this world, man, because that is an example for others to follow. And I think you are an incredible example for others to show that you can go through things in your life and you can bounce back from that and you can maintain, or in some cases you said you had to heal your heart, and everybody has the ability to do that, So if you had the ability to give people out there just one piece of advice, that has helped you kind of get to this point of where you are in your life that everybody watching this is impressed by, what is that one piece of advice that you think would change the world and bring us all together and make us one team on this planet?
I think, as my mother told me, played a very, very major role my whole entire life. She told me this. She said, no matter what you go through in life, never let anything be bigger than your faith. And I feel like people are losing faith. Build your faith back up. Dig deep, man. Dig deep in your heart, and just to realize what Jesus Christ went through. Once again, I'm going to keep bringing him up because he was shunned. He was stoned. Everything happened to him, and he forgave. That's pretty much my message, man. Your faith, man. If you lose it, you lose yourself. And I'm not saying everybody's religious that believes in Jesus Christ. Some people might be Muslim, and they believe in Allah, or they believe in Buddhism. I don't care what it is. I believe in none of those faiths or religions. It tells you to be a cruel individual. If it tells you to be, not kindness to people and doing bad deeds. None of those religions tell you that. So for us all to be doing that and to not pay attention, somewhere God has to be one, because they all preach us to do the same thing, and that's acts of kindness all the time. So if people start paying attention to that, no matter what religion you are, no matter what you believe in, keep your faith the strongest thing you have, and God will pull you out of it. If you, like, I had so much happen to me, wrongful deeds, and God kept telling me, leave the vengeance to me. Don't go out there and get angry. Don't go out there and do anything to anybody, don't verbally insult them. Leave the vengeance to me, and the glory will be mine, and it will be yours. So that's my message, man. Just keep your faith bigger than anything, and learn to forgive.
What an honor to your mother, man, to carry that message for the rest of your life. That's how people live on, in this world and never leave us,
Upbringing. That's another thing I want to speak on before we go is upbringing. I was raised by a great family, great mother, and she used to tell me, treat the milkman or the bread man like the president. He's still human. He's still trying to provide for his family. It's just like I said, you gotta give your faith, keep it strong, and give it a chance. People are so quick to, I don't want to taste that food. I don't want to, I ate zucchini for the first time in my life the other day, and it was not bad. So, man, you just gotta reach out, man, and communicate. And, leave that anger alone, leave that hate alone. I know there's racism everywhere in the world, and to my nationality, I just want to let you guys know, like, I've been bitter. I felt type of ways, but I also met great people, and we can't hold the white people of today or whatever we went through accountable for what we went through in the past. Of course, we're going to have those people that don't want to see the change, and we have to leave them in the dark until God finds the light for them. But if you're in the light and you have a heart, reach out, man, and talk about things and let things go. Everybody's not bad, man. And that's why I'm glad I'm here today, because to show the world that, man, I'm not a villain, and if I can save somebody again, I'll do it again. I'll put my life on the line because I know Christ is walking through me now, for sure. So any chance I have to help somebody in that manner, I will.
Man, brother, thank you. Thank you for your message. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being who you are and being a light in this world, man. And that is, we need more Daylan McLees in this world, man. And thank you to the guy sitting next to you there to put this together.
Awesome,
Mr. Coach Rosgoni, as you referred to him. I just know him as Mike. My man helped put this together. We had some technical difficulties. He didn't give up. He kept pushing forward. So he played an important role in putting this together. But Daylan, the next time I am in Uniontown, man, I got your phone number now. So you can't get rid of me unless you change the number. So I will call you, man, and I would love to find a way to do something together that can make an impact on this world. So you think about it, and I'll think about it, and let's figure out how to do something that makes an impact.
Absolutely.
Sound good to you? Brother, I appreciate you being here, man. Thank you to everybody that was tuning in this morning. The comments were rolling in, man. Everybody's showing some love. I don't know if you have Facebook or not, but if you do, you should check it out. There's lots of love in here and lots of perspective being shared this morning before people start this Friday. So I'm going to leave you with this message. And Daylan, you haven't watched my show, so you haven't heard this, but every single Friday I say to people, man, everybody leaves early on Fridays. They cut the day short. They don't do everything down to the last buzzer, right? And you were an athlete. You got to play all the way to the whistle, right? And so we talk about on Fridays, give it everything you got. Go out like a lion. Don't go out like a mouse. So we're going to leave everybody with that message this morning. Man, spread some love. Hold a door for people. Say thank you. Say hello to the police officer. Give people hugs, man. I know we're in a time where you're not supposed to hug, but I'm breaking those rules every single day because that's what we need in the world, man. We need love. We need to share positive messages. And dude, I thank you again, man. I can't thank you enough. You changed my life today just by listening to the message and giving me that perspective. I'm sure it's the same for everybody else that's watching. So thank you for being here. Thank you guys for tuning in. I will see you again Monday morning, same place, same time, 7:30 a.m. on Morning Perspective. Love you guys.